Hello everyone and welcome to Star Wars On High. Thank you for stopping by. We are back with my review of episode 3 of The Acolyte. And this review will probably be slightly different as I know that this episode has sparked some controversy for, whatever reason. But basically we finally got the backstory, or at least part of it, for Osha and May. We know that there was a fire that broke out and killed Osha's entire family, but it also looks like there were some stretches in the story that she was told. Right now, I want to go through the negatives I've been seeing as I have a hard time understanding some of them. From the beginning, there were some critic reviews saying that this show was going to break everything in canon in the biggest way we've ever known, and well, that didn't really happen. I assume it had to do with the virgin birth of the Force, but I'll tackle that in a second. Firstly, I wanted to say I thought it was great to learn about the Witch Coven and how other cultures use the Force. We saw this mainly with the Witches of Dathomir in the Clone Wars, but we've also seen in the comics that there are vastly different cultures and religions that worship and use the Force in different ways, and even refer to the Force by different names. So with that being said, I don't see it as a surprise that this coven was able to use the Force to create life, especially when they themselves aren't exactly aware of how they did it. Based on what we know, this was on accident or by coincidence. Now I know a lot of people are upset because this takes a shot at Darth Plagueis, seeing as he was a very powerful Dark Lord of the Sith and was also responsible for Anakin's creation. But that was also kind of a fluke. Darth Plagueis was definitely wanting to create life because by this point in his career, it was something he was overly obsessed with. Plagueis was manipulating the Force, trying to make it go darker, and the Force, almost in a fighting back kind of way, wanted to balance itself out by creating Anakin. It was never Plagueis' goal to create the Chosen One, but his actions definitely caused it. While he did not directly create Anakin, Anakin wouldn't exist without Plagueis. So at the end of the day, Plagueis was still an extremely powerful Sith Lord, and this Witch Coven does not take away from that. But since this is taking place presumably before Plagueis' time, I think it would be very possible for the Sith to learn of this through Osha and May, and pass that knowledge along to the point where Plagueis learns of it. That seems like a logical line of reasoning. You have to think, the Jedi would never know this type of power, so where else would the Sith go to learn about abilities if not through old Sith holocrons? Learning that you're training an Acolyte that was born through the Force would definitely pique their interest. Next thing I wanted to bring up is the whole fire story. Now it's obvious that May started a fire with the intent to kill Osha, but that fire didn't result in the death of everyone in the Coven. Nor did it have anything to do with the reactor seemingly being rigged to blow. We didn't get to see that section of the story, but there's still the side from the Jedi's POV that we have to see. And I assume that that will be tomorrow's episode. I do find it strange that we decided to dedicate this whole episode to that story, almost like a flashback, but not entirely. I kept expecting it to jump back to the present, but it never did, and it felt off to me. I will agree there. It may have been done better if they told it like the story in The Last Jedi, where Luke talks about what happened with Ben accompanied by some flashbacks, but I think it will be done better once we get the remaining story. Another big topic to bring up is the story itself. While I think the episode could have been handled differently, I do believe that the writing was great. We get to learn about this witch coven that both May and Osha were a part of, but also get a feel for why their paths were separated so much, but with plenty of the story yet to be revealed. Why was this coven seeking sanctuary? Why were the Jedi investigating them? How did they use their power to create the twins? What happened causing the Jedi to attack? And most importantly, what influences did Osha have to make her so different from her sister? What made her decide to pursue a life outside of the Witch Coven? These are the questions that I was left with at the end of the episode, but I'm sure answers will come along. A lot of people are saying that this episode was bad because it didn't answer any questions, but I also don't think Star Wars ever creates a story and answers all of your questions in one go. Some things are just left open sometimes. And sometimes those questions are asked only to be revealed years later. Overall, while it's not my favorite episode, I don't think it's as bad or as scary as some are claiming. It is very different. But overall, it's still just another piece of the puzzle that is the Acolyte, which is one of the reasons I really like the story so far. It leaves us wondering and asking questions. I certainly think the viewer's patience will pay off by the time the season is over, but we'll have to wait until the finale before we get everyone's opinion on that. But what were your thoughts on episode 3? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Leave all of your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, thank you to everyone who stuck around to this point in the video, and we hope to see you again very soon.